Live.
Hello, welcome to the Run Testers Different Gear. Just got the nod from the director up there. Thank you for that. This is your monthly update from inside the world of running gear and tech, brought to you in partnership with SOAR Running. And we are back in the SOAR Lab. My name is Danny, host of the Big Run podcast. And no, we're not going to be reviewing a million mics. We're also recording for the Big Run podcast, and there'll be a deeper dive episode coming out this time next week. And speaking of SOAR, later on in the show, we're going to be revealing the winner of last month's competition, and there'll be another competition as well for you to get your hands on some SOAR running kit. Now, this episode is slightly different because as we sort of draw to the end of 2021, we're going to be doing the inaugural Run Tester End of the Year Awards. Not quite the Oscars, not quite the BAFTAs, it's our very own kind of awards show. Not quite. No. Better, in fact. I have the golden envelopes here. The results are being counted and verified, so we'll be revealing the winners later on in the show. But I count another Run Tester missing. Where's Mike?
I'm back.
He's back. We're covered. Been back, but where's Mike gone?
So Mike is currently in quarantine because Mike was silly and went on some kind of paradise holiday,
and then the rules got changed.
And then the rules got changed, and now he's in quarantine, justifiably so, I believe. But
right. Yeah, I mean, I've got no sympathy.
No, he's not at all.
I don't look at his Instagram anymore. It makes me sick.
Are you well recovered? Feeling better?
I think so. Yeah, I'm sort of edging my way back into running. I went from doing. I'm going to say it again. Went from doing 7 marathons in 7 days. Basically to not being able to run 5k, I did a 400 metre little loop around my park and was out of breath and dead. So I'm edging my way back. We'll be up to doing the longer distances soon. But
good to have you back. So obviously this is an end of the year awards show, but looking back on 2021, like how's it been from your point of view with all the tech and the gear and the various running shoes sort of coming out across the year?
It's been interesting with the pandemic. There's been a few, I think, releases that probably haven't happened that we'll see. I think we might see a bit of a glut next year as a result. Some things have been a little bit harder to get to the UK, which is fair enough. Postal systems are still working around new arrangements.
Supply chains.
Yep.
Supply chains. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But
lots of people holding back. I think lots of people, obviously holding back product or not quite getting products out.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Just because of, pandemic doing its thing. I guess, other sort of situations making it very difficult to get products out. Brexit. Do you want to say the Brexit word?
I thought this was an award show. It's question time, guys.
I mean, real world political things. When they stop us getting running shoes, we get involved, and then serious things.
We'll march.
We will march on Parliament. But it has been a big thing. And I think if you've been waiting on certain products, you can expect a lot of new stuff coming out early next year, assuming things don't all go to hell again.
That's interesting because it feels like there has been a lot of, particularly in shoes. It feels like there's been a lot of shoes coming out.
I don't think shoes have been. I think shoes have been. Releases have been pretty much the same kind of routine. But I think the watch world, which isn't so fixed, I think there's been a lot of stuff potentially held back.
Microchips. Big
microchip shortages, right?
We have to put them in all the vaccines, don't they?
Oh, well.
Oh god, that's going to fire up the comment section. Hopefully the comment section is live, so obviously as we'll be going through the show, we'll be announcing some of the winners of the awards. So let us know, do you agree with the results? Have there been any sort of standout bits of shoes, gear and tech that you'd like to put up for nomination? Let us know in the comments. So should we kick off with the first award? Should we start with that?
Dive in?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is the best running watch, and our guest presenter was going to be John Travolta, but he's cancelled, so we've got Kieran instead to read that out.
I can dance as well.
The Chiswick Travolta.
So how am I doing? Are we drum rolling this, or am I just going to...
Tell me what your sound effects.
I have got them ready, I've just got to start the audio.
Are we going to do a drum roll, do we think, for the best running watch?
Drum roll.
He's going to the
drum roll?
God, the tension is palpable.
Triangle.
God, a triangle. Do it.
I'll do a glockenspiel.
With the watch. It's on your wrist.
And the winner is
the the Garmin Enduro, and the runner-up is the Polar Vantage M2.
Interesting. So just to caveat, all of these awards, these are products that have been released within the year of 2021. So what was the thinking behind the picking the Garmin Enduro? Why did it make the sort of top spot for you?
So this is it. It's still on my wrist. I mean, that would be a good. That would sort of tell you some information about why this is kind of our top pick. I think it's big bucks. It's got.
What was it retail at?
It came out at $799.99 in the UK, so nearly £800, which is a lot of money. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have maps. So I'm giving you two big negatives here.
It is an award winner, though.
Throw those things aside, and it's basically down to, I think that...
It doesn't have maps, really?
No, it's got that big battery life, which is the main thing. So you get 80 hours of full GPS battery life.
Okay.
And then you're getting pretty comprehensively kind of selection of Garmin's other kind of best features, basically. So you're getting almost the best of Garmin in a watch with a battery life that, you know, makes you need to charge this watch once a month if you're training like an hour a day, which is just kind of, you know, that's an innovation that has really moved, I think, the watch market on in terms of what we can expect from battery life.
Mike also still wears. I think Mike's a big fan as well. These guys do love big bats, and they cannot lie. But as someone who's not so obsessed with battery life, I still love the Endure. I think it's a really good watch. But I would probably would have voted for something like the Polar, because if you are prepared to charge a watch a bit more, I think there's other options on the market.
So the Polar Vantage M2 then, the runner-up, why was that a close second?
It's just a fabulous all-round watch for the price. You're getting a multi-sport watch for $250 with really good sports tracking, and you get access to, you know, not all of Polar's training analysis and test, but you get all the key stuff that I would use. Like, I think there is some extra stuff on the kind of flagship Vantage V2 and stuff like that, but you're getting really comprehensive training analysis, nice lightweight package. You know, it's a really solid watch in the mid-range bracket, where I think probably more runners still shop than the deluxe end. Yeah, it's a really nice watch all round, and it's fair to say that actually hasn't been, if we were saying our very best watches overall, might not have come out in 2021. So it's actually a bit of a category that hasn't had so many representatives this year, it's fair to say.
Yeah. And I think, you know, from an enduro point of view, always interested in things that are sort of pushing other brands. You know, it's basically a challenge. It sets a challenge to other watches, actual other watchmakers, to say, okay, what can you do in terms of battery life? And we hope that 2022 will be a year where we see battery life trickle down at that level to more affordable watches, and I think that's what kind of is really exciting about the Enduro. It kind of, you know, stake in the ground says, you know, give us a £250, you know, pound watch that goes that long, like an M2 with an 80-hour battery life. Will sell an awful lot.
That would be when I'd get obsessed with battery life. But I actually think this war has actually really ramped up. It's great, and I think some credit to Coros. They really pushed battery life a lot in their watches, and then the Vertix came out, and then the Enduro came out, and then the Vertix 2 came out, pushed a bit further. And I think that is why 2022 is it's going to be the year of the battery, which which is exciting.
Can't wait.
It's very exciting for this guy.
Well, before we get too riled up about batteries and lithium and various battery compounds, let's move on to the best running headphones. Unfortunately, Ryan Gosling couldn't make it, so Tom, if you'd like to announce this one. Unfortunately,
not a big difference there, is there? Okay, so the winner of the 2021 best headphone is... I might be too far away from the mic now. I've got to turn this one off.
Oh, I'll move it over.
The Jaybird Vista 2.
The Jaybird Vista 2. Okay, so why did that take the top spot this year then?
It's just a fantastic all-rounder. I mean, it does everything that you want from a pair of true wireless headphones. It's a tiny case, which is great for, you know, carrying around when you're running. I run around with mine in my belt, so you've always got the charge of the case and the headphones, so which is perfect. Some of these bigger headphones, bigger cases, you can't run around with them, so you've only got what you've got in headphones. Sound is pretty good. It's not the best sound out there for headphones, but it's really good for a pair of sports headphones. What else? It's got some nice features as well. The app's quite good.
It's super customizable, which I really like. You know, you've got personalized EQ, sound test to make sure you're getting sound that's tuned to your ears. Yeah. It's got a good solid battery life. You know, it's good competitive battery life on that.
Sounds a big step up on the original Vistas, I think. I think I actually think the sound's really good on those. I really enjoy it. Once I played with it a bit, and you've got a ear gel, a wing, so very secure.
Yeah, you've got the tips. But also the other big thing about those is, and we've just been speaking about this, is that case is really well designed for storing in a pocket.
It's nice, it's a little oblong.
And the little loop as well, very useful.
You could hook that into a belt. I'm telling you, it's really, I mean, the other thing that I think there's, you know, when you're in this sort of category, there's an awful lot of competition, and some of these run very close. So, like the Jabra Elite 7 Actives are pretty close, but the case on this is actually IPX rated as well. So the case's durability kind of protected. So
is that what picked it over?
There's all these little things, I think, that just make this. They just go a little bit further. And if you're looking at overall kind of practical use, you know, for me personally, that's a really big thing, because I'm often out if I'm running for a day and I've got this in a belt. Where if I don't want to get caught in the rain, I know that the case is protected. On other headphones, it's not. Yeah. So there's all these little areas where I think it just nudges ahead in terms of its overall quality.
And I'd say this year, actually, in contrast to watches, headphones had a great year, and now there are several of the best, probably all the best headphones available have come out recently. Like the Jabra Elite 7 Active were our official runner-up. They're very close to the Jaybird Lobby, which fit almost you prefer. That it's that close, and the case, things like that. But JBL released some great headphones this year. Beats just got the Beats Fit review up, and they're very good. So headphones have been a fantastic year. Very, very really getting to the point now where all they can kind of do is just keep improving battery almost. Everything else is pretty much there. The sound's really good for sports headphones nowadays.
Yeah, we've all got multiple pairs of headphones, and I struggle now to pick up a pair because I just go, it doesn't really matter now. They're all pretty similar in terms of what I'm getting out of them. Although I would say with the Jaybird, they always kind of top it just because of the fit and the case for me. That's why I try to take them out more often than the other ones.
Okay. So 2 awards so far: the Garmin Enduro and the Jaybird Vista 2. What do you think at home? Do you agree? Have they been products that you've been using as well? Let us know in the comments. Now the next one.
Should we do a couple of questions
Oh,
before we move across?
questions. Fantastic. Let's do it.
So we've got a question from Pilot Hussein. Is the Garmin 245 worth it in 2021?
Yes.
Simple.
Still, I think
to the point.
It's still probably my favourite all-round running watch, and you can get non-music version in particular for about 150 to 160 quid. You're not getting anything better for that price.
That's very good value for money. Any more questions?
No, that's it. Carry
Great.
on.
Now this next one is for the best all-rounder running shoe. Now when you say all-rounder, what are we talking about here? What kind of things are you wanting it to do?
So you want it, basically, there's a lot of one-shoe runners still out there. I guess not many of them watch our channel maybe, but I love the idea of being a one-shoe runner, and it's shoe that you can do your easy runs in, you can train hard in, you can do all of this in any shoe, but it's a shoe that performs well in each of those occasions, and you can then even put it on race day and know that you're not really giving up a load to people who spent £250 on a specific race day shoe. You've got one shoe that's covering off everything.
Okay.
I find, so I'm jumping in here again. I find with the all-rounder shoe that for somebody, like, you have quite specific thing. When you go and run, you know exactly what you're doing. So you'll go out and go, right, I'm doing a track session, I'm going to do a fast session. But for me, I never know. So I'm just going to leave the house and
see how you feel.
Just be how I feel on the day. So I might get out and go, wow, I'm good today. And I don't want to go out wearing my really soft cushion shoes and find out that I'm having a good day. So an all-rounder shoe covers you.
It's like a bit more of a selection in the toolkit. If you're like, I feel like doing a bit of tempo today, I can pick up the pace a little bit.
Well, you don't want to be in a really fast shoe and go, I can't do fast training
This
today.
is uncomfortable. Okay, so should we find out who the winner is? Who wants to announce this one?
I think I was going to grab this
Yeah.
one. This is my last one I'm getting.
Man with the golden envelope.
Right, okay, so the best all-rounder running shoe, as will be probably no surprise to the viewers, the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2.
Lovely. I've
For all the
got
smoke.
that shoe. It's a lovely shoe.
Lovely. Kieran really likes this colourway as well, don't you?
I love the chef shoes.
The chef shoe. Colourway. It truly is an all-rounder for a long shift as a KP as well as some speed work as well.
So this is just when we get shoes, it's not rare, but it's not very often that we all just get a shoe and go brilliant all the way around. And this one, I think we all got it first time and just went, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
perfect. And it just blew us away. So it's still the top one in our list of sort of running all the time in.
Definitely, yeah. Like I used the first Speed into the ground, racing it, did easy runs in it, sometimes on the same day, and just loved using it for everything. And now there's even, if I can.
Be careful.
The Run Shield version, which is a bit more weatherproof. So you wore that today because it was raining on the way in. Even more versatile, potentially.
And it's only sort of slight incremental changes. It's mainly the upper, right, that's sort of been changed from last year.
Yeah, there's a bit of kind of heel support as well, a bit more heel support in the second one. I mean, some people have really noticed the differences, so obviously the differences have been targeted at them, but I didn't find any difference at all on the run, and I loved them equally. And the Run Shield very much the same, just with a warmer upper.
And what came in as a close second? What was the runner-up for the best?
This is very similar shoe in terms of the fact that we've all... Have you not tried it yet, have you? Hoka Mach 4?
Oh, spoiler!
Spoiler alert!
So it's Hoka Mach 4 is the runner-up.
Yeah.
And me, Mike, and Nick, all massive fans of this shoe. Very similar in what it does. It's a nice, all round. You can use it for fast stage. You can use it for more cushion, comfortable runs. Just a great shoe all round.
Yeah, a bit more cushy, I'd say, than the Speed, and probably really well suited to long runs in particular. It hasn't got a plate in it, so it's a positive in some ways. It is a bit more comfortable when you are going for easy stuff, but maybe not quite as quick as the Speed on some occasions. But yeah, another fantastic shoe.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Right, so going from sort of all-rounder to more kind of easy, kind of long-run vibes, you've got the best cushioned shoe. And this is going to be awarded by you, Nick.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you want a quick question before we move on to that?
Yeah, go
So
for
they
it.
don't pile up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about the speed. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's do
So
it.
this is from Nova Gasky. What max mileage recommended for the speeds?
I think it just really depends on the runner you are. I think 'cause we were talking about this earlier about where so after 550k my original speeds, no problems. Like the new one was slightly maybe bouncier, but I really could use it for everything still, and I had no wear. But you said you had a little bit of wear sometimes in
A
yours.
little bit of wear, yeah, but I think that's partly to do with, like you say, it's how I run. Like I sort of pronate slightly more to the lateral side, so I think I get a bit more wear. But my second version seems to be going a little bit longer. I'm sort of north of about 350 miles at the moment, and they're still feeling pretty snappy.
So I think if you can see any degradation, it's like most running shoes. Try and squeeze the outsole. Does it feel like a big chunk? But if you're still getting a bit of bounce there, I tend to just say keep using running shoes. I don't think it's.
I feel
a problem.
you know when they go, like you know that sensation. Like my first pair of the Endorphin Speed ones, you felt like I could feel it when it went. Like my knees certainly felt.
And you could even get yourself. It's not going to get yourself a second pair, start building into rotation, and see if you feel a big difference. If you're going to use the second pair anyway, you could start using it a bit earlier and use them at the same time. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. They last a long time.
Okay, and then just another quick one. What are your thoughts on training with carbon nylon plate shoes? Are you better off training in slower, heavier shoes?
I used to be a big fan of not using carbon shoes, but that's because they were quite unstable, soft, and all that. But I think the variety of shoes you have now, I quite happily do a lot of training in a carbon plate shoe. I don't think it makes a difference.
The Speed 2, I think that's one of the reasons that shoe wins an award is that's a shoe you can do everything in.
Well, 2021 is in a year that has really changed how people view carbon plate shoes. There was a time when every carbon plate shoe we got, you compare it with the Vaporfly or the Alphafly.
Yeah.
But now you get one and you can't compare it with those shoes because it's not designed for the same thing.
Yeah.
And there was a big durability thing, right? So a lot of it was like, actually, we're going to cut this up, and do I have to save it because it's $250 or whatever? You're going to want to save it, or more than that, you're going to have to save it for race day. Maybe that's not so much the case with some of these shoes like the Speed 2 or whatever, or even the Endorphin Pro. For me, it was interesting because actually when we spoke to Dustin, who'd done the study into these, his kind of take on it was, well, why would you change out? If you're going to go and run fast, you're going to run fast at best in this shoe. Yeah. That's when you're going to sort of train hardest. I get the idea. The other part of that question in my head is like, has people kind of wearing, or you're wearing a weighted vest or whatever, so that when you get to race day, you feel lighter. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's what the question is getting at. You're going to sort of
keeping yourself honest to
get
that sort of psychological
anchoring yourself down a bit, so when you
day.
get to race day you've got lighter shoes on, you're going to go more.
I'd say the opposite of that is if you feel fantastic in training all the time, you get so much more confidence for a race day. And I would say if you're going to take anything from the elites are using carbon plate shoes for all their training pretty much. I think these days, so.
Interesting. Okay, best cushion shoe then. Should we find out?
Let's do it. So the winner of the best cushion shoe 2021 is the Puma Velocity Nitro.
Nice. So why did that make the top pick this year then?
Puma has had a fantastic year. They've come back in a big way with a really good new foam, nitro foam, nitrogen-infused foam. It's almost like, and that's probably what they did, they've had a good look at what people have been doing in the market while they've not been doing a lot of long-distance running shoes, and they've come in with a range that kind of hits all the best bits that's been going on. And it's just comfortable, it's ridiculously cheap. Its RRP is £100, which isn't ridiculously cheap, but it's always available for like £40-50 kind of
really?
thing.
Oh, yeah.
You get
Let's have a look at that shoe then.
Yeah. It lasts really well. That's a box fresh pair, but they last really well. I think it's a lot more versatile than you expect for a cushy shoe. I find it really comfortable. I've done long, hard speed work, like marathon sessions in. I've done short speed work in it. Like that outsole is phenomenal.
It's really chunky, yeah.
Yeah, and the shoes doesn't feel heavy. That outsole grips in all conditions. I think it's a really solid all-rounder. They do have a more cushioned option in the lineup, the Puma Magnify Nitro, which if you want a max cushion shoe, you'll get an even more of that plush feel. But the Velocity we all found was cushioned enough for us for pretty much everything. Yeah. Kieran, you ran a marathon at the end of a long week of marathons. Yeah. Wow. It's just a fantastic shoe.
Because it doesn't look, on appearance, it doesn't look like a max cushion shoe. Like, if you saw it on the shelf, like that's really impressive.
There's nothing more exciting for
us
than getting a cheap shoe that we all love.
Yeah.
Because suddenly, it's a big deal. If you get a £250 shoe that we all love, it's not that surprising, really. But when you get something like that, it's a real bonus.
That will go in my rotation. I think it's as good as any cushion shoe I've tried this year, and it's cheaper and comfier and really versatile.
You've sold me.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely considering it.
I love it that it's almost a bit traditional as well.
Yeah.
Really, in its kind of shape and form. It's we see a lot of sort of high stacked shoes. I like the fact that it kind of harks back a bit in terms of its kind of silhouette.
I wonder whether that's going to be a trend for next year. We were talking about this, about sort of shoes maybe going in a slightly more minimal kind of sort of old school kind of feel.
A little bit, but there's some mad stuff coming.
Oh, really?
I'd say my one regret of that shoe is that there's a rainbow version I don't have, and it cuts me up inside because I love rainbow shoes.
Do you not want one that's got a heel that comes out this far?
I know, yeah. I've looked into it. It really just seems that's just a style thing. It's crazy to me. Anyway, we've got a runner-up. We'll give a big shout out to, because it's a shoe that year after year produces the goods, and this is a more traditional, expensive cushion shoe, which is the Brooks Glycerin 19.
That's just classic.
Just such a comfy shoe, and it's a shoe that it's one of those shoes that I imagine people go to running stores and they test shoes on a treadmill. I bet they sell them by the absolute bucket load because the step in.
I feel like my first pair was a pair of Glycerin. I feel like it was.
It's like stepping into a warm bath. That shoe. It's phenomenal,
but it's not too much. It's not like you get these shoes.
No.
Really, it's like the Nike Invincible.
Yeah.
Which is really soft.
I do love.
He's loving this shoe at the moment, but it's not as that's more of like an all-rounder shoe as well. You can use it for a lot of other stuff. Whereas the Nike Invincible,
a bit wild.
Yeah,
this is a real traditional shoe, but it's just like the best of what running tech has had to offer for a long time. A really nice cushioned EVA, a lovely upper that's plush but not insane, and it's a shoe that just keeps delivering. It is quite expensive, the Glycerin. It's like 140, I think, but that's normally what you pay for those kind of big cushion shoes.
It's been quite nice about an old stalwart kind of still going strong as well.
19 gens in, they're still more or less good. I think there's going to be some big updates to that shoe next year though, because they have got a new foam which we liked a lot in the moon boot shoe, the Aurora.
Oh yes, that sort of concept shoe.
And I think they're going to release that foam into the kind of more standard lines. And I think that's going to be good too. But this is a great shoe.
Any love for those shoes in the comments?
Nobody's mentioned those in the comments. I've got a couple of questions.
Got questions now.
One which is quite relevant to this section. Is the Nike Pegasus 38 good for tempo days? And that's from Pilot Hussein again.
It's okay for tempo days. I'd say the moment Nike haven't cracked that kind of tempo-y fast trainer within their lineup. There's the Zoom Fly's okay, the Pegasus is okay. A lot of their shoes actually gear towards easy stuff, really.
They did crack it. They just stopped making it, right? I mean,
yeah, that's true.
They cracked it with the Turbo 2. I mean,
we should say the best all-rounder is the Pegasus Turbo 2 best all-rounder shoe. It's named after, rest in peace.
A moment's silence.
It's incredible. I mean, we've actually discussed kind of putting together some kind of sort of campaign to get Nike to bring it back, because if you in the comments you put out there, everyone loves that shoe. It's remarkable that it doesn't exist anymore. Even in its old form, they'd still be selling it.
It still stands up against the shoes that are released now. If you took that shoe out and you'd never seen that shoe before and released it now, people are like, this shoe's amazing.
The
technology in it's fantastic.
I think part of the reason Endorphin speeds are popular is because it more or less
resembles that experience.
Exactly. So Pegasus, the old versions of the Pegasus were very much cracking tempo shoes, all-rounder shoes. The newer versions, I'd say, are geared more to easy day shoes. Very durable, comfy, grip really well.
Hot.
Oh, hot uppers for Kieran. I never have a hot upper problem, but
they're very kind of dense uppers. I don't know. I got very hot feet.
The same actually on the Zoom Fly is a similar kind of lots going on, almost 2 layers on the Zoom Fly.
Let's start the petition. Bring back the Peg Turbo.
Let's do it.
Thechange.org. We'll get it going. We'll get it going.
One more quick question.
Yeah, go for it.
Would you classify the Nike Zoom X Invincible Run as a max cushion daily trainer?
It's a max cushion shoe, and I think it does have a bit lively. I think it's got a bit more going for like kind of daily training. You can actually run okay tempo runs in the Invincible. It is so Zoom X foam is fantastic. Basically every shoe they put that in, but I think the Vomero had a bit of a weird feel, despite I haven't run in that. But generally Zoom X foam is a good sign, and it does have a bit more bounce to it. But if you do want a max cushion daily trainer, just been testing the Skechers Max Road 5, and I think it almost works better as a daily trainer than an easy shoe, despite being crazy cushioned.
Okay, so from cushioning to race day, the best race shoe.
Big one.
I wonder who might be winning this one. Nick, do you want to reveal the answer to this? Anyone in the comments got any guesses about what they think the best race shoe is?
For the 7th year in a row. The Nike Vaporfly 2 is the best racing shoe in the world. I think I'm going to say that. I mean, there are some. This is the year when the competition got really real. I'm going to say that. And there's some fantastic, and you certainly don't need to be wearing the shoe. And I personally still love the Alpha Fly for marathons and half marathons. I use it over the Vaporfly, but for any race, any distance, even if they were still allowed for track 1500s, you could turn up in the shoe and know you were going to have the best shoe pretty much going. And I think it's just everywhere now for a reason, basically. I've set a half marathon PB in this shoe this year. I've set my 5k PB in the shoe this year. Can't really argue with it
But a bit tighter this year in terms of the competition. So what about the runner-up? Were they fairly close in this?
Yes,
competition?
actually, this is a great shoe. The Asics Meta Speed Sky Asics released a carbon plate shoe last year, the Meta Racer. It was just a 4-foot plate, still quite low stack, and it wasn't really a super shoe. It's fair to say it was a good shoe, good shoe, but not a super shoe. Metaspeed Sky is a real super shoe. It's still a bit lower stack. It's 33 mil, and it's got a lower drop. I think it's like 6 mil, but it's basically the closest to the Vaporfly in terms of it's really versatile. I got my 10k PB in that shoe this year, one of my first runs in it, and I'll be happy going to marathons. I've done some long 30k hard training sessions. It's got a nylon-based foam. It's got a similar springy feel. Maybe the Zoom Fly is a bit softer. The Zoom X is a bit softer still, and but they're both quite light for carbon shoes. It's just got everything going for it that the Vaporfly has, except mad side. Yeah, Mike's very
Mike's delight in that.
Do we think this time next year you'll be revealing that as the winner, or do you think there might be a contender?
For me, I think this is what I was saying earlier, where carbon plate shoes are different now. So when people go out and buy a carbon plate shoe, some people are probably thinking, I want a Vaporfly, and they see another one that's £150 and go, well, it'll be the same, won't it? Just a bit cheaper. It's not. They're very different shoes. But the Asics Metaspeed Sky is the only one for me that I've raced in, and I've liked it as much as this shoe. It's not quite there yet. I'd still say that every time, but it's close.
It's close.
It's obviously designed in the same way that this one is, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would still... I know people who do pick the Asics. I know professionals, I prefer it more. And I think triathletes find it easier to get in and out of and try transitions, for one. But yeah, exactly. Also, the Vaporfly is an easy to recommend just because so many runners have tried it and loved it. And the Metaspeed Sky has some slightly odd sizing issues for some people. Which
I've heard that, yes. Yeah.
I've heard of people ordering the same size and getting it, and they fit differently, which is not ideal. But other than that, it's fantastic.
All right, well, from the roads to the trail, we have the best trail shoe. Now, this comes with a couple of caveats. These are your favourite trail shoes that you've been testing.
Trail shoes are difficult.
Trail shoes, basically the best one depends on where you're running, more or less.
Condition specific, kind of.
And I think partly because of pandemic and travel's been difficult, we haven't necessarily been to places with very, very steep kind of mountain trails. We find to put shoes through the test. But
we find this every time we review a trail shoe, you basically got to caveat the trail shoe with what you're doing, what it's good for, all these things. So you might have a trail shoe that's fantastic in the mountains in the sun, and you can't possibly compare it with a shoe that's amazing on mud. But so this is not the best trail shoe. It's our favourite trail shoe that we've pulled it together.
And that's based on, if you think about kind of a lot of the trails we run in the UK. For me personally, I'm talking about sort of fairly light, maybe some coastal paths with little sort of slightly steep sections, but they're not huge kind of 30-minute descents. Or kind of flat rolling kind of forest paths where you're a bit of mud, can get a bit sloppy, but it's kind of compacted, So and also for me over ultra, so that was where I came from when I was voting for this.
Yeah,
you're a little bit different.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, the best trail running shoes are for mud. Basically, I want to run fast in the mud in cross country season, or I want to run slow in the mud on my training in the forest. And I wouldn't run beyond about. Well, I'd run long on the trails, but I wouldn't. And then ultras will be training runs kind of thing. So very different things. And that's why we have different picks, really.
Kieran, do you want to do the honours?
And I shouted loudest, I think we were both.
Tom likes it as well. I haven't tried the shoe, but heard great things.
The winner is...
And the winner is, it's the On Cloud Ultra. It's this bad boy.
Oh, wow.
Hello.
Now, with this shoe, I mean, I think, going back to that, a lot of the trails that I tested this on, or I've used it on, we're talking about trail ultras that are often going from something that's kind of hard and compacted onto road, or there's some descents that aren't sort of too slippery and too crazy, and it just performs really, really well over that. It's got really good ground contact. It's got one thing On does really well is actually uppers, and the uppers on this over long distances. So I'm talking like 8 hours in this shoe. The upper kind of hugs the foot, keeps it nice and kind of secure, locked in place, nice and stable, without any kind of discomfort, hot spots, rubbing, all of that kind of stuff. It's got some really kind of neat, clever tricks.
I was going to ask, what is this thing here on the Asics?
It's got like a flip to release sort of toggle. They call it like a quick release. So basically, you can have this will release a little bit more room in this area of the shoe when you flick it. So on ultras, if the idea is if your feet swell up, you can create a bit more room. What I found was really useful actually was just when you wanted to maybe change socks at an aid station, it makes it a little bit easier to get the shoe on and off.
Oh, I see.
It's basically got a booty fit, which again, after you've loosened these off a bit, you can slide your foot in and out during ultras is a big thing.
And that stuff makes all the difference.
Makes all the difference. And it's not the most grippy shoe, so I wouldn't, again, going back to that, if you're going to be sort of clattering down slippery French mountains, I'm not sure this is going to hold up to some other shoes. But if you're looking for if you're doing a 100k ultra where you're rolling between a bit of off-road mud, compacted paths, all that kind of stuff, a bit of road, this is great. It does really well on the road as well. So that sort of trail to tarmac crossover,
yeah,
really nice.
But what's one of the best bits of it?
Doesn't catch rocks.
Doesn't catch rocks.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, and also for on shoes, most of them obviously the kind of channels between the clouds catch rocks, but it's got this kind of closed. They call it kind of a closed sort of cloud section, which now doesn't do that, which is brilliant.
Can you close a cloud?
We closed the clouds. They are manipulating the weather. So what about the runner-up then? Who came close to taking the top spot?
This is quite interesting. You Tom did a lot of running with this. This is more of an all-rounder shoe, right?
Yeah, well, this is an excellent example of a completely different trail shoe that we liked running in. But it's the Hoka Zinal.
Okay.
So the Hoka Zinal is a very light trail shoe. It's very close to a road shoe in how it's designed and how it feels. But I was in Croatia for 5 weeks, so I was running around hard mountain paths. Perfect for that. Nice bit of cushioning on the bottom. Very lightweight. It's just quite a small shoe. Just perfect for it. It was just really enjoyable, and it was really hot there as well. And it's a very lean shoe, so it's I took another shoe out, the Merrill Mara Flight. Really thick, heavy trail shoe. Was not nice in the heat at all. But there's Hoka Zinal, absolutely loved. So it was fantastic, and you could use it for road if you wanted as well.
Oh, so a bit of a transitional shoe then, maybe sort of road to trail kind of vibes.
Yeah. I think it's designed for those people that live in hotter, dry countries where you don't have to worry about mud. But also, you wouldn't be able to run where there's lots of heavy, like big rocks sticking out as well. It's sort of nice trails in the heat. But you've run it as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I quite enjoy it. I took a big tumble in my first run in it. It wasn't the shoe's fault. It fit slightly long, and I didn't lift my toe up enough over a log because the shoe was longer than I thought, and I took a big tumble. But that was actually quite a hard session. I was doing hill runs on a mix of road and light trails in the summer, and it works brilliantly for that. It's nice shoe. I think actually I don't like to go at all too cushioned and heavyweight on trail shoes, just because trails I run and do most of the cushioning, that fits that bill really nicely. I think.
Nice. Well, we've come to the final award of the night.
Comments. There's a quick one here from Pilot Hussein again. Is the Asics Nova Blast 2 good for tempo days?
Yes, okay.
Yes, I like it. I like the tempo days. I think it's a faster shoe.
I didn't like it so much for fast stuff. Preferred it for easy stuff, but it wouldn't be terrible for fast stuff.
No.
Okay.
It's a good all-rounder. In fact, it cropped up in our schedule, in our
last award.
In our awards discussions quite a bit for an all-rounder shoe, so I would put that in there.
Okay.
Kieran doesn't like it.
I didn't really like
Kieran,
it. Don't ask me.
You can always tell when one of you suddenly goes quiet. You know already what the opinion is. Any more? No? Okay, so, for this last one, we were actually doing a bit of interaction with you at home as well. So I know on Instagram and YouTube, you put out a post a couple of days ago asking for people at home what their best running shoe was. So this is the viewer vote. So the votes have been tallied and counted. Nick, if you want to announce the winner of this.
The big awards.
what have we got?
Have we got a good audience who know what they're talking about shoes? Well, they definitely do, because they picked the exact same shoes as us. It's the Saucony Endorphin Speed as the winner, and the Hoka Mac 4 as the runner-up. Correct, guys. Yeah. That was a test. You all passed.
I should say that I was quite surprised by the spread of shoes. So they were clear kind of winners and runners-up, but actually I think overall we had something like 20 shoes selected from across. So there is a variety of opinions out there in different shoes.
What was third, Kieran?
I'm not going to say it.
The Asics Nova Blast 2, very popular shoe. Kieran's nemesis. I saw a great chat with the Prime X from Adidas. I love the idea because if someone loves that shoe, that must be a very fun shoe to run in, and it's nice that someone's really taken to it. It's a really weird shoe, and I know my friend is almost fearful to go out on them. They're so high. But I did. There were some cool pics in there, and I think it's nice that people are trying lots of different stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're trying to do really here is to help people get to the shoe that works best for them. So we're obviously picking our favourites here, and those that we think are good, solid options. We're going to tell you if a shoe is bad, if the durability is bad, but if someone in the comments or someone out there gets to a shoe that makes them run better, we don't really mind what that is. That's a happy thing for us.
Yeah, I would say it's a big thing actually, because recently I had a couple of negative reviews on shoes and I really like it. That makes me very happy. Like, I like it if you like the shoe, but yeah, it's just it's so when someone finds a shoe that works for them and it makes running that bit more fun, even more than what it is.
Thing, really.
Warms the cockles.
Yeah, but nice bit of synchronicity there with them picking the exact same team.
Yeah, I do like that a lot actually.
They got the memo sent out.
I knew the Speed was very, very popular. I didn't know, I know the Hoka Mac 4 is very popular, but I wasn't sure it was going to be coming runner-up, so that's nice to see. Because I really like that shoe. It's been a while since it came out, but it's obviously stuck in people's minds.
Nice. Well, we've been giving out awards all night. I think it's time we start giving out some prizes prizes as well. So obviously
That's
this
a good
time
idea.
last month we were giving away a SOAR Ultra Jacket 4.0. Is it 4.0 or 3.0? It's 4.0. And we have the winner of that prize. So have you got a drum roll or a sound
Stop
effect?
asking for drum rolls.
Make it up.
I'm gonna have to go for party noise. That'll work, won't it?
Party noise?
Yeah.
Go for it. And the winner is... it's Richard Harrison. So Richard, if you are watching, congratulations, you've just got yourself a brand new Ultra Jacket. Saul will be in contact to arrange the details
Lovely.
of getting that over to you. And we have another prize as well to give away, and obviously as the nights are drawing in, it's getting a hell of a lot colder, so this prize in particular I think will come in quite handy. It's a pair of these, the dual fabric tights. This is the third iteration of these tights.
Yeah, so I've used past versions of these. Big new feature here is you're getting a bigger pocket,
Nice.
which can handle
sort of phones and
phablets,
gels
as they are.
and phablets.
I would say about these is I don't use tights a lot because I find it a bit too much. But actually, I will say the previous tights of these I've worn and they're not too much. They get you warm without like being in the way, without being restrictive. You've got a little bit of compression more in the calves, and then it doesn't feel so tight around. Again, I don't want to be feeling it too tight around my quads, my huge bulging cyclist quad, my matchstick quads. And I like a lot of SOAR's gear. Actually, to be fair, it's nice that you get stuff that keeps you warm without being bulky.
It's always that right level, isn't it? That
Yeah.
right level. And I think as the nights are kind of drawing in, those sort of early morning starts, those will come in handy.
Are you
So-
wearing shorts over those?
I wear shorts over tights generally. I have
Always.
started for
Always.
races.
Oh really?
For race-
I'm a tights kind of guy on its own.
Yeah, I
don't mind
it.
it.
Works for some people.
What do you think at home? Is it shorts over tights or just tights? What are your thoughts and feelings?
I heard a term they're called shites. I'd never heard that before, but
For the watershed.
I was not even
where's the
9 o'clock.
contraction of shorts and tights?
I think it basically depends on your environment. I will wear for races just tight shorts, and it's fine. Certain races, I'm not rocking up in parkrun in just tight shorts. I find
I
not sure
don't
about
mind
it,
it.
yeah.
Well, if you want to get your hands on a pair of these to rock them with or without shorts, head over to soarrunning.com/different gear, and you'll have all the details there to enter the competition. And
We'll add the link into the video caption after we finish.
Any more questions come through?
We do have
Before we wrap
one
up.
here, which is quite a pertinent question. This is from Jutaru Kuju. Sorry if I've not pronounced that correctly. I'm not very good at that. Have you tried the SOAR Nano rain jacket?
This has just been released.
Just been eyeing it up.
No,
Just been eyeing
it's
it
just over there on the rail, and it looks delightful.
Yeah,
No.
might have a slightly bigger backpack, and I just swipe that. We haven't tried it,
No.
but you should be.
Well, if you are curious, I know SOAR are opening their doors tomorrow and the day after, where they will be showcasing some of their autumn-winter range, including the Nano jacket. So if you are in London and you want to get your hands and have a feel and get a bit tactile with the products, then head over to here, where you'll be able to be in the lab where we are now, because SOAR are going to be opening their doors tomorrow and Wednesday. So head over to their Instagram to find out more about that. That kind of brings us to the end of the show. Any more questions, thoughts, comments, concerns from the viewers at home?
Well, I tell you, we've got a lot of comments, but we'll reply to the comments afterwards because a lot of them are just saying how good we are, basically.
Thanks,
I
guys.
see one question in there, which
As-
I think is an interesting one. You might be able to, which is from Call Me 2000.
Yes.
It says, "Hi, any opinions on Tailwind versus Morton
Yes.
versus other brands?"
Tailwind, this nutrition we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're talking about. Yeah, it's kind of. I guess it's long run fuel essentially.
Right.
It's often used for ultras, and Morton obviously is marathons up, and other brands as they're training for an ultra marathon looking to improve nutrition. If you're balancing those two, Tailwind, you get stick packs,
Yeah.
which are really handy when you're filling your bottles at aid stations. They're really quick, easy to carry, huge range of flavours,
They taste really good.
and they taste really good. Energy wise, I think we're talking about this is sort of on a level Morton natural, sort of neutral flavour, which is great if you sort of it's sweet but neutral. So one of the things when you're going to move up to ultra is thinking about how something's going to taste after 6 hours of drinking it. You have to test for Tailwind if you to change up the flavours as you go. Your stomach can take what the kind of what it consists of. Then you can avoid flavour fatigue with Tailwind. With Morton, maybe you can just have that neutral flavour and it will be less kind of aggressive on you. Other brands I think to look at, Veloforte have got some really good natural energy powders. They do some good carb powders. They're all kind of natural. They basically have sort of like fruit powders and stuff. And it's just not so aggressively sweet and sort of chemical in a way. There's another one called UCAN, which is a really interesting one, which a lot of people won't have heard of. and this is like it's like a special starch. It breaks down a little bit slower in the stomach, and it can give you kind of more even levels over the long kind of run. That's called UCAN. So there's a few options there. Also, I think my final suggestion would be mix up your liquid fuel and your solid fuels. So look for bars, look for other options. Good mix.
Yeah, you eat a whole ultra runners eat some mad stuff like cheese and crazy stuff, right? Because you must go insane. I mean, I love Morton, but I wouldn't want to do it 6 hours straight.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, some of these, I think, you use them as part of your overall kit, but you want to have a selection of things because you are going to want to change it up. So you think about salty, savoury stuff as well. Things like biltong or whatever that you just, and that's just trial and error. Really, you've got to get out there and try because. For some people, tailwind will be fine. For other people, it might turn your stomach. You're not really sure until you test it.
Nice. Well, I think that brings us to a nice close.
Well, there's one question which feeds in quite nicely to what we'll be doing after the video.
Yes, go.
So, Tom Whitehead has asked, what running gear are you most looking forward to in 2022?
Well, if you tune into the Big Run podcast, which will be going live this time next week, we're going to be diving into the year ahead, and we're also going to be looking at some Christmas gift ideas as well. So if you haven't started your Christmas shopping, which I haven't, and I woke up in like a cold sweat last night because I was like, oh my god, I haven't started it yet, then you'll definitely want to tune into the Big Run podcast next week where we'll be digging into that. So guys, thank you so much for joining me here back in the SOAR lab.
Thank you.
Thanks,
we'll see you this time next year for the awards show. We'll be at the Beverly Hills this time next year.
Yeah. We will be replacing Tom with Ryan Gosling then.
Okay, Ryan Gosling and John Travolta as well, I believe.
As long as Ryan Gosling can do all the tech, because
he won't know.
Ryan Gosling can't live stream. All right, and on that bombshell, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
See you next time.
Cheers.
Thank you.